Another day, another record for goal-scoring machine Erling Haaland. The Norwegian scored his 50th goal of the season in Manchester City's 2-1 win over Fulham, which saw them go top of the English Premier League table. Haaland has now scored more goals than any other top-flight players in the last 92 years. Is he the best player in the world right now? That's what we're going to discuss in this live. Hello and welcome to WION Sports Extra. I am Nikhil Mathur and I'm joined by my colleague Vidur Kathuria, and our sports editor Digvijay Singh Deo is back.
The returning Digvijay Singh Deo. No longer the impact sub. Or the impact sub, whatever.
Yeah, so English Premier League is a difficult league for strikers to come in. And Haaland, this is his debut season and he's already exceeding the expectations. How do you look at his season?
I think the only comparison that comes to mind, and probably I'm biased, is Salah's first season. Or perhaps Robin van Persie when he joined Manchester United from Arsenal. But even then, the goals were not this much. Yeah. What Haaland is doing is he's redefining the role of the centre forward. People thought that, he's going to go into the Guardiola system. What happens? Guardiola plays a certain way. But I think, let's put it this way. If Haaland does not win the Ballon d'Or, even the FIFA best this year, then there's something wrong with that voting system. Lewandowski won it 2 seasons in a row, FIFA best, for scoring the number of goals that he did. Yeah. Yes, Messi won it because there was a World Cup here. But look at the way City were in contention for 3, right? So you're looking at the FA Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League, where they are facing Real and are the favourites, where they are playing. So irrespective, I think he's reached that threshold, the 50 goals, still 6, 7, 8, 10 games to go at least. How many more games? 6 in the Premier League. 2 at least, 2 in the Champions League, at least 2. That's 8.
Potentially 10.
Potentially 10 and 1 more from the FA Cup. That's 11 games. At least say 10 more goals?
Yeah.
What will be the reason? 60 goals is what a lot of times a team score in the entire season. Yeah. So how do you not say? I think the debate is over. We thought that this is going to be Messi. After Messi is going to be Mbappe, but I think he's gone.
Another thing, when we talk about the Ballon d'Or, their rules have changed. They changed last year. So now it's supposed to take in a proper football season that is from August to May.
But
so obviously the voting.
They only extended it because of the World Cup, but it is season to season.
Yeah, but the Ballon d'Or is now purely the rules change, and that's why Benzema got it last year. Otherwise, obviously, if the voting would have happened in December, then Messi would have won it. So the only player that can sort of beat Haaland to the award is Messi, purely because of what happened during the World Cup. And when the journalists vote, whenever that happens, they will still have that World Cup in mind.
No, but that's purely. In terms of the FIFA best, the Messi's already won that. So
that is the only thing that might stop him from winning. I'm not saying that he shouldn't, because the season he's had and the numbers he's put up, unprecedented, especially in English football. So
he should. League. Let's be fair. He scored 50 goals. I think Salah's best was 44 that season.
44 across all competitions.
And I think, as things stand, last year Salah and Son won the Golden Boot with 23. 22, 23, 24, somewhere there. He's got 34, 35 already.
34.
Yeah, in fact, in recent Premier League seasons, the Golden Boot has been won with 21 goals. I remember
even Mane and Salah shared it
with Aubameyang, 3. 3 of them, I think they had like 20 or 21 goals. Yeah. So just the sheer numbers, just incredible. And let's not forget, Haaland had a lot of pressure on him when he came into this league. He was expected to score goals, but he has completely...
And there have been patches where he hasn't scored.
Yeah.
And it's become sort of a crisis.
Yeah.
And every time Guardiola said, have faith in the boy.
And he's adapted to his role. Like earlier in the beginning, he was just a box player, but now he's dropping back. He's being involved in the play. He's, in the previous match, he assisted Kevin De Bruyne. They just exchanged their roles.
Yeah. He was brilliant in that match. His touch has improved, I would say.
He's a constantly improving player. He's
That's
improving
also
his
Exactly,
influence of Guardiola,
exactly.
right? That's the
Yeah.
influence of a Guardiola.
Yeah.
Like people say that the same Salah did do well in Chelsea under Mourinho, but then how was it that there was a sea change? Because that's the coaching influence of Klopp and his team.
Yeah, and also just the way that he uses his body. Obviously, he's a freak of nature. The way he sort of
Built like a tank.
exactly, he's an absolute beast. But the way he uses it against top defenders, I mean, these are top defenders in the Champions League, Bayern Munich. He bullies everyone.
Yeah.
So the way he plays, like defenders are almost scared of him. In fact, recently I was watching a video between Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. They were discussing two of the best defenders in Premier League history. Even they were discussing, and they weren't sure as to how they would deal with someone like Haaland.
Yeah.
Vidic was asked, what do you do? And Vidic said that, your best hope is that you keep some distance from him because you don't want to get so close. So that is what he's doing. He's making defenders think.
He would know. Remember what Fernando Torres did to him?
Torres was like Vidic's bogey player. Vidic, one of the best defenders in Premier League history. But Torres used to absolutely tear him apart. He had a terrible record against Liverpool and Torres. He got a couple of red cards, I think.
Michael says he has to be one of the best strikers. Dara Singhi says Haaland should hope De Bruyne doesn't leave Man City. But let's flip this argument.
Yeah.
Is Haaland's success down to De Bruyne, or is it down to Guardiola's system?
I think both. You have to say both because De Bruyne is exceptional in every way. His service is exceptional. There is no one else in world football who will deliver that kind of service match in, match out to someone like Haaland. And I mean, there are great midfielders around, like the likes of Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, of course, in Real Madrid. But Kevin De Bruyne, the way he plays and that in that attacking midfield or number 10 role, his ability to pass the ball and really put everything on a plate is unparalleled in world football right now. And Kevin De Bruyne has been the best player in the Premier League for the last 5 seasons. I think that debate
I don't
is
see he's
over.
going anywhere at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just making that point that Haaland is the player he is, has been the player he is this season because of the service that he's got.
But he was good as your team. But
Of
50
course,
goals
of
means
course,
when you're looking at an individual accolade and you don't win the Ballon d'Or or the FIFA best because of your team, you'll be on the FIFA Pro 11 probably. But you're looking at it specifically from, is he the best player in the world right now? We think yes. The poll that we have is very different. Nikhil, you want to say that?
Is Haaland the best player in the world? Only 35% say yes and 65% say no. Maybe
Big swing.
or maybe they're thinking they're waiting for him to win the Champions League because it was a given that City will go, they will challenge for the title and probably
But
win
they
it.
have. They're in the semi-finals. I mean, you reach there, you've done most of the hard work, right? That's what?
the project-
4 team, that's 6 teams, 6 matches in the group stages.
Yeah.
And then 2 quarterfinals, 2 round of 16. That's
10
12
matches.
games, 10 games already played, and 2 more to come.
But I think the project Haaland would be complete if they get the elusive Champions League title, and probably then you will have nothing to say.
Then Guardiola's objective will also be he won't have anything to prove to anyone if he wins the Champions League.
So maybe that whole
The Premier League's over.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think the only other players when you let's take Messi. Let's
You're saying 65% saying no.
Yeah,
So who
that's
are
what
the
I'm-
people?
exactly.
Who are the players who can sort of rival him? Okay, Mbappe.
Mbappe, you would have to say
But he's gone off the pace last 3 months since the World Cup.
PSG have gone off the
Well, he
pace.
lost 10 already.
Yeah,
9,
exactly. And when you look at other big teams, Benzema, you can't really say is now like at that
11
level
point difference.
after what happened last season. I mean, he's obviously dropped
There's no
off.
standout person for Barcelona. There's no standout player for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, and you look at
Osimhen in Italian Serie A.
Napoli, but not they haven't delivered the numbers that Haaland has, and he's basically taken them to like the Premier League
Napoli,
title.
unlike a bit different, but full team effort.
Full team effort,
Yeah.
So is, to be fair, so is City. You know, we look at City as being
Of
this
course, yeah.
assembly, the Avengers assemble, but you can assemble the best players in the world. but to have them playing that level of football, we don't see that with Real Madrid,
Or
with
with-
the Galacticos.
Or with PSG, they have Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, but
And they can't buy a win.
yeah,
They lost last
can't.
night.
Yeah.
Yes. Another defeat for them.
Yeah.
I think they lost 9 or 10 in 2023.
Yeah, I think it's we'll have to look at the league and table, but it's the gap isn't that much
I think it's
anymore.
5 points now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think Christophe Galtier will be there next season.
There are questions about Mbappe. He may just leave because
There are questions about Mbappe every
And
season.
Neymar. And
Yeah,
Messi.
yes.
Salman says, with or without De Bruyne, the team is gold, will perform better. It's managerial tactics. Yes, Pep Guardiola.
No, I would, but
You
the
think- you
level.
think- okay,
there are levels to that.
Okay, no, let's put it this way. So you're saying that while Holland has delivered, Guardiola will be judged purely on the basis of the Champions League. He has to win it to be judged.
His time at Manchester City, his overall time, whenever he leaves, his whatever 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years, whatever, however long his era is, will be judged on whether he wins the Champions League or not.
Yeah.
And this is his best chance, right?
You would assume his best
Madrid.
chance was a couple of years back when they reached the
They don't
final.
score goals. Now they have the guy who'll score the goals.
no, not just like they can blow away team. Earlier they were winning, but with Holland they can just blow away team. So I still think that this is their best chance. And
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the way they're performing right now, like anyone who hasn't say
Hey,
followed
the
football.
Fulham game wasn't.
Yeah,
wasn't
wasn't.
a tear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they scored in the 15 minutes.
And
then
those are the
Alvarez
games
had
you
a
have
great
to win
goal,
if you want to win the title. And they enter that game next week against Real Madrid. You would say, footballing wise, they are favorites
Yeah.
over Real Madrid. But it's the Champions League. It's Real Madrid. It's a two-legged tie against the defending champions, against the 14-time champions.
You're entering the Real zone.
Yeah. So form goes out of the window. Real, that's the only thing they're fighting for this season. No, they are still in the Copa del Rey. But yeah,
Osasuna.
Real Madrid are about the Champions League. That is what they care about every single season. So it will be a great football occasion.
clash.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we doing today at 6:30 p.m.?
We have an action-packed bulletin. So many things.
4-3. We're leading with 4-3. What a game! And not exactly in that sense of the word. It was a great game. It was a crappy game. You can't
Not
get
high
3-0
quality, not a high quality game.
3-0 up and then get hammered. Let's be fair. I saw the game. After Liverpool went 3-0 up, they were hammered for the next 16, 70, 75 minutes.
Basically for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
And but let's turn that around. And like there were people who were saying that only Tottenham can come back from 3 goals down
never
and
know.
then concede a winner in injury time.
Same with United. United were cruising in 2-0 and then Tottenham scored 2 goals. And United also defeated. Who did they defeat with 1-0 victory? Villa. And they cemented their top 4. And another guy has hit a 50 in the NBA.
Oh yes. Stephen Curry has become the first player in a game 7 to hit 50 points. Remarkable performance. Showed again why he's one of the greatest players of all time. We're doing that. And of course, Miami Heat have begun their Eastern Conference semifinals with a win over the New York Knicks.
Also, how many times can you say this? Somebody actually outduels John Rahm on a Sunday. Tony Finau winning the Mexico Open. And in case you missed it, fantastic performance by Aditi Ashok. Set the clubhouse lead, was in a playoff. Her par putt lipped out. Just bad luck for her. She finished tied for second. Fantastic performance on the LPGA. And the player who won is a major winner.
Yeah.
That just shows you the level. Nelly Korda was playing.
Oh wow.
Nelly Korda was playing. She finished 6th, I think. Yeah. So lots of action over there. And we're also going to touch upon the Formula One, the MotoGP.
We have Magnus Carlsen is no longer the world chess champion.
We have a new champion. The king is now Ding Liren. And not just is he the first male player from China to be world champion, the current women's champion is also Chinese. Mind games.
So yeah, that and much more on our show at 6:30 p.m. IST. Thanks for tuning in.